tail on some other shit. I'm rapping on West Beats, I make my brother rich. I got a super bad bitch that's
Who we are, Some Other Shit podcast. This is our first ever on location podcast. Brought the whole setup over here to Just A Dad From Akron store. We got Kenny Lambert over here. He's our guest today.
Yep. Yo, what's up, y'all? Kenny Lambert, Just A Dad From Akron.
Yep, and then we got Dylan hanging out.
You know, y'all know me, man. Y'all used to seeing me. We here. We're very excited for this.
Yep, we're here early in the morning. It was a tough one for us to make happen.
But we made it happen.
Oh, yeah, we made it happen.
Yeah.
We got out of bed. We made it. So we got over here. We got the whole podcast set up, and we wanted to just see what was going on and talk to you about some stuff. You know?
Yeah, for sure. I'm psyched. I appreciate y'all packing up and sliding through.
Of course, man, of course. We just made like a new T-shirt with you, so that's the big connection here. Kenny helped us get these new T-shirts rolling pretty quick, and we just wanted to go and talk with him and showcase his spot. And
Yeah, for sure.
give him a little light on his story and
Yeah.
stuff.
It was dope because, like, whenever you sent me that art, it opened up a part of my brain that was on, like, Do Not Disturb. You know? So it's, like, normally I, like, freelance and hand draw all my stuff and this and that. And, like, I'd say for, like, the past, like, month, I'd, like, put that part of my brain on Do Not Disturb. Like, the creativity, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it, like, opened up with, like, all the little, the Easter eggs in there and, like, the detail and, like, how I was, like, sketching. I'm like, this is raw, you know? So it, like, opened up my brain for, like, a super creative project I'm working on.
Yeah, me too, bro. Like, I can't, like, that shit blew my mind. I was telling Marty how dope it was every day. Like, I don't know. And it's like, the way, like you said, he threw all the Easter eggs in
Yeah.
it. It was crazy, bro. Like, and it's really the front of our shop. Like, I can't wait for you to come through
Yeah,
and see
for
it.
sure,
It
yeah.
really looks like that. Like,
Yeah.
if you open the doors, it really
It's like a little
almost-
caricature, so there's a little differences, but
Yeah.
it's like that's the idea. Is it's supposed to be an impression of the shop.
Yeah, it was cool because, like, I've seen, like, the content and videos and stuff of, like,
Yeah.
of the shop. So, like, it kind of, like, pieced it together, you know, like
yeah.
an overall view instead of just, like, footage, you know, like
Exactly.
angles and stuff. It kind of gave me a better perspective of, like, yeah, it was dope.
What's all going on there? Well,
Yeah.
thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah,
I know
it's-
what you mean too with that creative block because I mostly do the videos. So like when it comes to like the graphic design style stuff, I always hit a block. But then like I came up with an idea, and then as soon as I started getting stuff rolling, I was like having fun with putting all that stuff in there,
Yeah.
you know, and making it look more like
Yeah, for sure. Because I
just
feel like,
normal.
and that's what, like, you know, like the customers or supporters really want. They want something that they can see that just doesn't look cool, but they can, like, see it and relate and be like, oh, like, you know, little
Exactly,
like,
yeah.
yeah, you know, it's like the originality of it, stuff like that.
Yeah, cool.
And it was a fun job to print, you know, because it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
something cool to print, but then it's like, you know, it's better than just printing like a word on a T-shirt. You know?
And a lot of people don't take advantage of like the single screen
Yeah.
process. You know, usually people want to add colors and stuff like that to make things pop. But
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, it was a super fun way. Geo Jenkins and
Yeah.
Willie Weathers kind of taught me how to do that stuff.
Yeah,
back
I
when
grew up
we
with
were-
Willie, so I grew up
Yeah.
skateboarding with him as a kid. Yeah.
Do you remember we were doing Wolf Fight? Did you ever see that?
Probably. I know he'd be like snowboarding a lot now.
Yeah, this
but-
was like way back in the day.
Yeah. So like, yeah, like I grew up with Willie, and like I remember like watching him, you know, like ollie Kenmore's forced air, kickflip it, like watching him get new tricks down it, and we're like 14, 15.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was always fun to skate with.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Willie was the man. I miss hanging out with him.
Yeah, he's dope.
So I know you got everything going on here with the shop and all
Yep,
that.
yep.
So I know you were kind of doing like clothing before you started this brand.
Yeah.
I know you had the Dirty Girls.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Like, what else were you getting into before all this really happened?
So like before this, I did like Dirty Girls, which was 2011, and what that was like the complete opposite of what this is. You know, so it was like vulgar apparel, crazy messages. You know, to like when you seen someone wearing the shirt, it was like, what the hell is that? You know, like it was crazy. Like the shirt said, "Bad bitches only, hold my dick." You know, they were crazy. Like, let's get ratchet. So it was like the complete opposite. And then like the mission of it was literally the lifestyle of partying.
Yeah.
And just to like, that's the lifestyle I lived. You know, I like was in active addiction myself, drinking and blacking out every night, doing drugs, partying, and really just like taking away from the community. So when I got sober, that's when I realized it's like I've always had like that drive and like the passion to create clothing and stuff like that. So I was like, how can I do that in a positive way? You know, to like give back, inspire change, create dope art. You know, give people hope through clothing. You know, instead of like the complete opposite, like taking away. You know, and I just started plotting and writing down stuff for like 6 months.
That's how long were you like doing the clothing before you got into the shop? Like what kind of led up to you like getting a storefront?
Yeah, so like I launched it in 2020. In March 2020, I had prayed about it for like 6 months. Launched it in 2020 in March. 2 weeks later was COVID. So like everything shut down, you know, and I'm like, God, like I thought this was the move, you know, like how am I gonna do? You gave me like a clear vision to launch this business, and now like the whole world shut down, right? And I just kept praying, man, and then like that's when it actually blew up. It blew up during COVID. I had met an old friend that I went to middle school with that I hadn't seen for 10 years. And I wanted to give him like a dad award. He had announced, you know, like he had made a Facebook post that his kid was like very, very bad stage cancer. And I looked up to him to like, that inspired me. You know, his name's Andrew Tepis. He lives out in like Lake Moore, Springfield. And that inspired me. I'm like, wow, like you're such a strong dad. You're going through all this with your kid. So I went and just showed up and like gave him a dad award, you know, like, you know, just recognition to being a great dad. And the news seen that and picked it up. And then when they did the little thing, it aired, and then like the website went crazy. And I was working excavation, you know, and I remember I'm at work and the news thing came out, and I look at my phone and the website just going like 30 orders an hour. And I'm like, wow, you know, like all day, the whole day it was going. I'm like, this is it. Like, this is going to be the time.
That's crazy.
And I kept asking all my homies in California that I grew up with, are like either like pro skateboarders or like very successful business owners and stuff. I'm like, how will I know when it's time to quit my day job and do this full time? And their answer was, you'll know. And that's all they said, you know? And I'm like, okay, so maybe this is it. And then like the following week, the website was dead, you know? So I'm like, but then, you know, like just things kept picking up and orders kept coming through. So me and my daughter I would work excavation, get off work, and we'd deliver every order to people in person, because I wanted to hear, you know, I wanted that, like that customer relationship to like hear how they relate to the brand, or like what their battle with addiction or recovery is.
And you were getting all those orders from local people?
Yeah, like, and then like out of state too. So like I would ship the out of state ones, but we were driving 50 miles, like 50 miles there to deliver, you know? That's just like how driven and inspired I was, you know, to do it.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So that first year really set the tone. Within like the first 6 months, I knew, I'm like, it started taking a toll on me, you know? And I'm like, I need a storefront. I need a space to where, like, even if it's just a small space, people could come pick up orders, and I can like stash stuff, because my apartment was literally just mountains of boxes. It was like a maze, like going through it. Yeah. And it was crazy. So, yeah, then it led up to 1 year after I launched the brand. It was exactly 1 year. I opened the storefront.
Wow. Sweet. That's awesome. What led you to, like, I know you said you're from Kenmore.
Yeah.
So is that kind of what brought you to trying to find a spot on the boulevard, or was this like a good opportunity for you?
Yeah, so I think just like being born and raised here, and then also like, you know, I've spent my whole life, you know, on the boulevard, skating, through addiction, being homeless out here on the boulevard. And I just kept praying, like, and God opened this spot, you know, like there was a sign in the window. Everything was all boarded up, and it said, for sale. You know, when I put the number in my phone, it was already saved in my phone as new home. It was crazy. It was like new home that was saved in my phone.
You were like, this is the one.
My buddy's like, he's seen it. I'm like, bro, look at this. He's like, whatever you have to go through to get that spot, go through it. That's where you're supposed to be. And it was hell, you know, like getting it. Because it was like during COVID. It was abandoned for 10 years, filled with trash. And, you know, I'm a 3-time felon, you know, I'm a 3-time felon covered in tattoos and mohawks. So it's like, I meet the landlord, and I walk in, and as soon as I walk in the door, it's like, it was like a weird spiritual experience. I felt like this is it, you know, and I told him, like, I couldn't even see anything. I just walked through the door. I'm like, I want it. And he's like, what? You're crazy. He's like, you can't even see anything. I'm like, I want it. Like, this is where I'm supposed to be at. So yeah, then, it was a long process to get it, you know, but yeah, we ended up getting it, and, yeah, revamping the whole place.
And you've been here for how long now?
3 years. So March this year was 3 years. Yeah.
That's awesome.
You
guys had the little anniversary thing.
Yeah. So it's been a huge journey learning. how to run a business, how to, you know,
Right. I mean,
continue to keep the store and the doors open.
you did it all firsthand. Like,
Yeah.
you did it.
So yeah, it's all possible, you know. Like
Oh,
that's
yeah.
that's what I always try to like. My message is like, no matter where you're at in life, you can turn around, you can make
You got
changes.
to do something about it.
Yeah, you have to put in the work, you know. Like
Yep.
you put in the work, and the reward is there. You know, just not gonna happen overnight, and no one's gonna hand it to you.
Yeah, nothing does.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's yeah.
So what would you say, like, with the brand and even the name and everything, you know, what's your overall like goal, and what are you trying to accomplish with the brand, you know? What's your message?
Yeah. So I think like when I first started it, like just a dad from Akron, the name came from, you know, like being a dad. That's what saved my life, you know. And I'm here in Akron, you know, and like because I've always wanted to be like apparel with purpose, you know. So it's like create and design clothes, but then give back to the community. And the giving back was inspired by like LeBron, like how he gives back and like you know, does this and that. So I was like, wow, that's cool, you know. And then it just came. The name just came, and I was like, that's it. And I'd say like the overall goal, like now, like just a dad from Akron isn't me. That's how I see it, you know, from like the inside doing the work and meeting people, and like all the people that come and support, like I'd say 75% of my customer isn't even dads. It's more or less like women or just like youth or just people that are inspired by the apparel. And that's what Just a Dad from Akron is. You know, it's just clothing or a movement that can inspire anyone to do better and change, and bring the community together. I'd say long-term goal, you know, it continues to grow every year here at the store. And I would say just continue to grow. I want to keep this as like the homestead, like main spot. Like this, I want it to all be organic and just grow as it happens. But I always want to keep this as like the main space, and just, you know, never forget where I came from, you know, and keep this, but to grow, like maybe eventually, get another, like a facility where kids could come and learn how to be entrepreneurs, you know, like come learn how to screen print, come learn how to graphic design, come learn how to run a landscaping company, you know?
What are the maker space?
Yeah, like a hub type deal. Yeah, you know. But I think that, and then, yeah, it's just, you know, just staying patient and just wait, you know, keeping my eyes open for the opportunities and putting in the work when they come.
Definitely.
So, did I answer the question?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because like I started
that
like
was perfect.
Yeah, that was great,
perfect,
man. You're
you know
killing
what
it.
I'm saying? Yeah,
I start to like answer it, and then I'm like, wait, what was the question?
No, yeah,
I feel like that's how these podcasts should go, bro. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, instead of just sitting here asking,
Yeah.
we let you do your thing and explain it. You know
yeah,
what
and
I'm
it's
saying,
nice
bro?
too when we like start going back and forth on what we're talking about and stuff and interjections. So
Exactly.
no, you're doing great, man.
Yeah, that was a perfect explanation, bro. You just summed it all up exactly where you came from.
What do you think? What was like your? I know you're really into doing the collabs and stuff. What was
Yeah.
your first big collab that you were super proud of?
First big collab was a Goodyear.
Goodyear.
Yeah.
Someone was telling us about that.
Yeah, so Goodyear, because it was crazy, like, and I truly believe, like, when you do the next right thing and you try to be a better person every day and you help people when you're able to, like, that's how opportunities and doors open, you know? It's like the universe. It could, you know, like I call it God. I believe in Jesus. So it's like, but it could be the universe, whatever you believe in. It's like, that's the divine intervention of like, that's how things happen, you know? And when they called, they're like, hey, you know, like, blah, blah, blah. They're like, yeah, we love your company, blah, blah, blah. We were wondering if you could, if you would be interested in printing t-shirts. And I'm like, oh, like Goodyear t-shirts? And the lady's like, no, like a Goodyear Just a Dad from Akron t-shirt. And I'm like, wait.
What?
And I'm like, what? No way, you know? And I thought it was like a scam. I thought it was like someone calling me, like trying to scam to like get information or something.
Oh man.
And then I was like, you know, so I always tell anybody that hits me up to collab, I'm like, if you're serious about it, come here to the store. Because it cuts out all the BS. You know, it cuts out everything
Let's
that's
talk
like,
about it.
Yep. So it's like, if you're serious, you got to put in some work to come here. So yeah, the lady, she was in Chicago. She flew in.
Wow.
She flew in and she was just like so moved, you know.
They
and,
didn't
like,
even just send somebody from out here. That's
yeah,
crazy.
it was crazy because like the headquarters is here, you
Yeah.
know. So, but it was surreal, you know. Like because my grandpa worked for Goodyear growing up as a kid. So it's always like, you know, and a lot of people here, it's like the rubber capital of the world. And I'm working on like a new piece
Yeah, I
now.
mean, it's just like you're becoming a mainstay here. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
Goodyear is like a huge part of
that's
Akron
huge.
history.
Yeah.
Like,
Huge, for sure.
So it's dope because it's like, you know, like at the end of the day, like all the materialistic stuff and like opportunities or achievements, like they're very cool and I'm very grateful. But like those things don't really matter to me. You know, I look at those things like, hopefully that inspires someone else. Like when they're down, that it's possible they can get up and they can achieve.
yeah, like he got it. It's like I could work with some great people. And,
Yeah. You know, but, and then I'd say, you know, like it's cool. I like working with local people, like just like, I don't want to say like smaller brands because we're all the same. I look at it as like, nope, we're not in competition with each other. We're here to like help each other and use resources, right?
I mean, calling you know, a smaller brand is just like not a corporate brand or something.
Yeah,
that's, like,
just like a
huge,
local,
like,
just like a small business,
Yeah.
you know? Because we're all, like, everyone's a small business until you're like Fortune 500, you
Yep.
know? So, but I like working with them because it's like, then it helps someone here in the city that's trying to do the same thing, but also like introduces their brand and platform to mine. And it's just fun, you know?
the
It's
idea
like
too
creative.
that it's like Akron is such a small place, but there are plenty of people that you're not reaching.
Yeah.
And they're not reaching. And
Yeah,
to bring
for
those
sure.
two
It's
things
good for
together,
everybody. At the
Yeah.
end of the day,
Yeah.
everybody.
And
all
someone's
that
much more
networking is
likely
good
to
for
go
everybody.
and follow up on like an Akron brand if they see it.
And it's cool too because it's like then we do like a pop-up shop at the store with like Goodyear. It was all licensed and it was only available at their spot. So yeah, it's cool because we do a pop-up shop and then people get to come check out the store and it's like my followers get to meet them, their followers get to meet me, and it's cool because it's like all their followers will come and they'll buy like my merch, and then my followers will come and buy their merch. So it's like a win-win, you know?
Yep, big mutual
Right. There's
gain.
nothing. I mean, it's literally a win-win. I mean, no matter what happens. I mean, because their group gets introduced to you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Just like you said, bro. And that shit just always works out perfect, especially in Akron, bro, because it's small. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
and everybody can get to know everybody. It's just what it is.
for sure. Where are we at on the time?
We're
Oh, we got
like
12
8,
minutes.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're chilling. We're
Yeah.
big chilling.
Nice.
You think we can get the Goodyear collab with the vet under the catwalk?
Yeah. Matter of fact, yeah.
You gotta plug us in, Ken.
Yeah.
I think they'll like that.
Yeah, and then like that. So like that's cool. You know, like I don't know. I just try to just keep going.
I feel like with stuff like that, also like the luster wears off like immediately after you do it, and you're like, okay,
What's
I
next?
gotta go.
That's
do the
how it
next
is.
one.
Yeah. It's like what's next.
So you're
you
like
know?
geeked up until it happens, and then it's
Yeah.
like, all right, I gotta
Yeah.
find another one.
Yeah, it was cool because like they bought like I got paid to like create and design it, and then but it was a pain, you know, because it's huge corporate company, so they're going and like send the design. It took 6
standard
months.
is very high.
It took 6 months to go back and forth. Well, not even like this, like the art itself, but just like the detail and then like copyright. Like their logo had to be exactly at this angle, or you know, like
Right,
the
that had to be
colors.
huge, yeah, like
everything,
that's
you know?
Goodyear, like,
It's this.
yeah.
I've done so. There's like a lot of stuff with video where like I can make stuff look super crazy and good with editing, but if it doesn't hit like, oh, it doesn't look this good in a
Yeah,
certain
yeah.
resolution, and it's like they just don't accept it. You know?
Yeah. So and then like the color Pantone had to be like
Yeah.
They sent me like their brand guidelines, which is like it was like 80 pages of like, you know, do's and don'ts, cans and can'ts, and I'm like, this is crazy. So but then like I did a collab with Stan Hewitt, you know, like, and that's a historic place, and I'm doing another one with them for October, but they're like so cool. They're just like, you know, like I don't know like if it's how it probably operates different, you know, but it's like from a business and like from their perspective of like a historic place, but they're super cool to work with, you know, and they reached out to me, and that's how it is, you know. It's like I don't go like reaching, because I feel like if I reach out for certain opportunities, or like it's like selfish, you know. It's like, what are my motives to really do this? Like if I were to hit up Goodyear and be like, hey, let's do a collab, and they'd be like, who are you? Or like, what for what, you know?
I know plenty of people who have done this. That they, you know, a little shameless
Yeah.
about it, and they've hit
For sure.
hit gold off of it. So it's like I don't know. It's like you kind of miss the shots you don't take. But I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It's very like it's like I don't know. It makes you feel a lot better when something comes to you like that.
Yeah, for sure. I just try to, because I think like it keeps me more humble too,
Yeah.
Instead of me like trying to be like self-seeking and like, like what are my motives to go like do a collab with this big company? Like, do I think I'm going to become a millionaire and I never have to work again? Like, or, like, am I just trying to like inspire change? And I'm trying to keep it like the basics, the organic from the beginning. Like, this is going to inspire people, not the money aspect of it, So I just try to keep it pure in the motive. So it's like anyone I work with, it's like I've turned down a lot of opportunities because people, their motives aren't pure, They're like,
Just doesn't fit your
and it's just like,
direction.
hey, yeah, So it's like, and I learned that it's like I want to work with everybody, but like at the end of the day, it's like, is it going to benefit? Is it going to be an asset or a liability?
Yeah.
Right.
That's a business side of things versus like, so yeah, it's cool.
There are plenty of people out there that'll try to like use your image just for to make them look good.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Or to like, it happens all the time. And I'll just tell them straight up, like, hey, like this ain't that,
Yeah.
But like we could find a common ground and like do something different, But yeah, so I don't know. Just try to,
Keep the ball rolling.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
How did you know how to do the printing and stuff before you opened this shop, the shirt printing?
No, so like I have a homie, like when I was doing the Dirty Girl stuff, he printed he's in Bedford, my homie Tony. He's been a huge help, and he did all the printing. I've met someone in California, and they're like, oh, like you live in Ohio? Like I have this dude, like I don't know how far he is from you, but it's my homie and he screen prints. And I'm like, okay. So he gave me his info, and that's how I met him. And when I came back here and yeah, I've been rocking with him, It's like I still hook him up with jobs and stuff, and he's been like a day one dude, like always go to. Call him, I need something, he makes it happen.
He's been the guy.
Yeah, so like I learned from him, and I learned, just through the ropes, and yeah, I just learned, and then like really like how I really learned is like when I got everything, and then just like had to learn it, like hands on, burning screens, printing, the process of like yeah, and I would say screen printing is not a thing, like it looks very easy, but it's like it looks easy watching someone with experience do
Yeah.
it,
I was talking about this recently where like it's funny that screen printing kind of almost became outdated for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then like people got sick of all the image transfer stuff, and it's like weird because it is kind of accessible.
Yeah.
Like screen printing is accessible.
Yeah.
And it's not the most expensive way to do shirts, but it
Right.
does take a lot of work.
Yeah, the job alone setting up is like the longest part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
What's like how do you differentiate yourself from like being the screen printing versus just like the clothing brand? Like is it like a 50-50 thing, or
as far as like business,
yeah, like, and just like, people kind of seeing what you're doing and coming in, and like, do you want people to see you and be like, oh, I want to buy his clothes, or do you want them to see everything you make and come to you with a job?
yeah. So like I don't advertise as screen printing. I don't.
Okay.
It's like if and
Yeah.
I won't do a job like unless it's like a minimum 100 piece. Only because it's like I don't want to ever advertise as screen printing because then it would like kind of defeat the purpose of me selling clothes, because it's like, why would I buy your clothes when I can just have you make one shirt that I want, So it's like I don't advertise. I do turn jobs down, So it's just like I really just screen print for like homies, or like nonprofit like recovery stuff or stuff like that. The goal with like the screen printing shop here is to like cut costs on my printing, but also to like use that to like make money to pay the rent.
Yeah.
So it's like if I can
For
do
sure.
one print job that pays the rent a month,
Everything else is just
then I can continue to like put all my money from the clothing back into the business and giveaways and like growing the business.
Yeah, that's
Because
awesome.
without the screen printing, I have to sell like 200 shirts a month here to pay all the bills. That's not even growing or expanding. So because I did before the screen print shop, I was doing side work, drywall, flooring. Just whenever.
Whatever you get your hands
Yeah,
on.
just whenever, like, okay, sweet, like this is gonna help pay the rent, just
So
doing
you don't
random
have to worry
side
about it
stuff.
as much.
Yeah, so like that way the business can grow, because it's like I can sell 200 shirts a month, but then I'm not growing because like all the profit from that then goes to pay the bills, and I'm like I'm behind square one, you know, where I was.
Yep.
So.
All right, sweet. We're back. Yeah, that shit is that's awesome that you're kind of flipping back and forth with doing the screen printing. I always wondered about that, like what you kind of prioritize more, but obviously
Yeah.
the brand is a little bit like more ahead of like the service of doing the screen printing.
Yeah, and like screen printing, it can be like a headache, you know, like depending on like the customer or like who wants stuff done. You know, like I don't think I'll ever open as like a screen printing shop.
Yeah.
Because it's like people don't understand the process. You're like, hey, send me the artwork, and they send you like a picture of a shirt that has their logo on it, and they're like, this is what I want.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like they don't understand like
Yeah,
the
or
art and then
it's
the,
not vectorized and it's all
Yeah.
pixely and you
Yeah.
gotta
Yeah, so you know how it goes, man. So it's just like, you know, it's like if homies have good art or like they want 100 pieces or more, I just look at that as like a blessing, you know, because then like
the idea that you can come up with stuff too and just make it happen, like,
Yeah.
super quick, is
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's you know a learning curve and yeah, so like yeah, what about like so tell me what your guys' favorite thing about like SOS, because I know like I have a lot of people ask me like, you know, when I was printing the shirts and they stopped in or homies and stuff,
Yeah.
and I'm like, well, I know that it's like the best way to describe it from like my perspective, just seeing on social media, is like just a bunch of homies, you know, they do video, they make merch, and they work on ATVs, but then they do fun stuff like blow up cars, like the truck that you guys like drove off the cliff or whatever, you know. So it's like
I feel like the best explanation is the name. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's kind of how we got
Yeah.
it. Like when we didn't like you kind of came up with your name naturally as well. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? We just caught ourselves saying, "Man, that's some other shit. Like that's some other
Yeah.
shit." So then we ran with it, and then we seen the SOS emoji, and we were like, "Oh man, we got our own emoji." And everything. So we're running with this. So we ran with that, and that's what it is, bro. That's like the easiest explanation, honestly. It's kind of like, well, what do they do? What's their name? Like some
Yeah.
other shit. Like we really do all kind of shit. Like
Yeah.
like you said, obviously, like our pretty much our top priorities are the podcast, are kind of like
Clothes. We wanna
clothes,
sell our clothes.
because our
like-
clothes are the biggest thing. Like
yeah,
we've been doing the Banshee raffle tee, but we kind of took a whole different route coming over here because our Banshee tees, we actually printed those up in the shop.
yeah,
So we took a whole different route when we came with you.
yeah.
And yeah, I'm loving it, bro. That was perfect. Like coming
Nice.
over here, we really appreciate.
Yeah,
all
I
that,
appreciate
bro,
y'all too.
for sure. But yeah, like we ride the dirt bikes, we ride the four wheelers, we break them, we fix them, we break the cars, we fix them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty much all it is. You know what
Flipping
I'm saying?
side by sides. you
Exactly.
know?
Right, right,
Flip
right.
side by sides. We
It's
buy
like
and
never
sell
let them know
stuff.
your next
Yeah,
move.
We
yeah.
buy and sell anything. Like we're on Facebook every single day.
Yeah.
I'm talking. The first thing I do is get on Marketplace.
Just like
So
anything with a motor.
anything with a motor.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
I know it's for a deal,
Yeah.
because
It's a
I got
flip.
my older dude Daryl. He knows a lot, and I don't know much about like old schools and older stuff, so I wouldn't know the value of it now.
Right,
you know
for
what
sure.
I'm saying? So he sends me a lot of stuff, or I send him a lot of stuff, and that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? So if I know it's a deal and I'm on Facebook at 7 in the morning, and,
Yeah.
and it just got posted 5 minutes ago, sometimes I can tell, and that's just what
Yeah.
it is. So we do a lot of shit, bro. Honestly, like that's what it is. Some other shit.
Yeah, that's
other
exactly
shit,
like
literally.
when I described. I'm like, well, I don't know exactly what
That's
it
some
is,
other
but
shit.
this is what
Just
it
some other
does.
shit, yeah.
And I'm like, this is what I know of it. And all the people that when I said that, they're like, oh, some other shit, you know, like because they're seeing the shirt and they're
Yeah,
like, that's
exactly.
so like it clicked to their brain, you know, and they knew. And I'm like, yeah, that's you know,
Mm-hmm.
We don't, no one, you know, it's hard to pin us down, and that's kind of the whole thing. But like, as far as like stuff we've been solidifying lately, we got tints. We're doing tints.
right? Yeah. I seen that.
Yep.
You want to come get some tints? If you need your ATV fixed or your dirt bike,
Right.
Dill will fix your dirt bike up. Maybe your Harley. Something.
Yeah.
We're trying. We're trying to get more on the service shit. And
Yeah,
then
that's
Working on
fire.
it, man.
you know, apparently we got car service now too.
Yep,
we can
we
do
do
some
got
big
car
jobs.
service,
You know,
yep.
call us up, hit us
That's
up.
dope.
And then the
figure
other
it out.
stuff we do for sure is we got a little studio. So if you got an engineer, you can record music at the spot.
Nice.
And then we got little music video packages and
Yeah.
stuff like that. You know, we can all kinds of stuff we can offer people. And then you know, maybe you hang out and we think you're cool, we throw you on the pod. You
Straight
know,
like that.
That's dope. Yeah, because it's like what it reminds me of is just like just doing like a lot of fun stuff and working at the same time. From
Yeah,
like another perspective of like business, you know?
Right.
it's
Yeah.
the
Like-
biggest thing we've been working on. I think is trying to find the best ways to like generate predictable revenue and then
Right.
being able to just grow
Grow
everything.
our brand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and have fun doing it, like doing it
Exactly.
how we want to do it.
Yeah, for sure. That's exactly how with the store, you know?
Yeah.
And just getting on the map, bro. Just linking with everybody in Akron. You know what I'm saying? Just networking, bro. Honestly,
Yeah.
because if you know everybody around the city, you know what I'm saying. Like you said, bro. Everybody works for everybody.
Right.
And your people like us, our people like you, and then it's just that's what it is, bro.
Like
So-
that's how it should be because like you know like staying in Los Angeles for a little bit, like everyone that I met out there was so friendly and like it was like I'll tell them my vision or what I was doing and they're like, here, let me help you. I didn't even know this person, you know, stranger, and they're just like so psyched and like the hospitality or like the willingness to like, and I feel like if that was the atmosphere here in Akron instead of like division and it's like competition, you know,
People
it's like
think it's like that. That's the big problem. I
Yeah.
feel like too is people don't see that. Like if you're really, at least for us, you know,
Yeah.
the more and more we step out, the more and more we meet great
Yeah.
people that just want to do great stuff with us
Yeah.
because they think we're cool and we think they're
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Like
For sure. And I feel like it's the same way like that for me, but I'm just saying like in general as like a city as a whole, it'd be dope for people like from different states to be like, oh, I want to go to Akron because
Yeah.
they work together. They
Yep.
want to help people succeed, you know? That's why everyone's like, I want to go record music in Atlanta or, you know, I want to go do this, take my brand to New York and this and that. Cause
you'd be surprised.
Yeah,
You'd
yeah.
be surprised how many
Akron,
people come
yeah,
through here. Like
yeah, for sure. But
I
yeah.
definitely get what you're saying.
Oh,
though.
yeah,
Like Atlanta,
definitely.
and
It's
New
not a
York,
hub.
those are the spots. Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. So
Definitely not a hub.
and if anyone out there that watches this has a El Camino that they're looking to get rid of,
Oh,
I'm
I
on
just
the- I'm
saw
on
one
the
over in
looks.
Springfield.
Yeah, I'm on the looks for one. I've been looking for like the past year. That was my first car. So if you SOS,
Yeah, we specialize in that, man. So
yeah, El
be
Camino
on the
comes
look,
through.
man. We're
yeah.
getting.
I
Kenny
know
El
where
Camino.
there's one at. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's for sale, but it's been sitting in dude's driveway for a minute.
Yeah, because I'm looking for like clean body and then
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, clean body, all that, and then like I'll do like I'll buy like the engine if it needs. You know, I'd rather like get something and build it up.
Yup.
Versus like just buying like a $30,000. I don't have $30,000 to buy
Yeah, no, that sounds
a car.
like that sounds like
Yeah.
something we're interested in, bro. We'll
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
help you with
You know,
that,
like
for
something
sure,
dope
yeah.
and just make it, and then like make that like my retirement, my summer rider for
There you
the
go.
rest of my life. You know,
We're in the process. We just got a GTO, a 1968 GTO. It was sitting for 50 years.
dang.
We got it, and like I said, another Facebook deal. I was on
Yeah,
Facebook
yeah.
7 in the morning, and I seen it up, and we went and bought it, man. So we're kind of working on that right now.
That's
Just
fire.
getting it. We're pretty much knocking the 50-year-old dust off.
They
it.
started
Yeah.
this thing up. There's rat carcasses coming out of the exhaust. And
The exhaust was stuffed with rat.
Yeah,
nest
that's
everywhere. It was
crazy.
crazy. It was crazy.
it was bad.
It was the craziest shit I ever seen. I mean, it's been sitting longer than I've been alive, so
Yeah,
that's crazy.
that's dope.
But that's what we're working on right now, man. We got a nice project, so we're definitely keep.
got
keep
7
our eyes
nice
out.
projects.
Yeah,
That's how it really
We ain't gonna no.
Yeah.
That's our main focus right now. That's one of our biggest focuses right now. But no, we're definitely gonna keep our eyes out for you.
Yeah,
sure.
for sure,
We'll
yeah.
definitely we'll get something in motion, 100%.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us out here
Yeah,
today.
thanks
coming
for
to the
coming out,
shop.
man.
It's a beautiful shop.
Yeah.
Come on down here. I've been here only a few times, but I feel like you always got something different going on with the layout
yeah.
and new clothes and new designs.
Yeah, I try to change it up, you know, because I want it to be like a dope experience. When people come here, you know, like, that's why it's all the artists, local artists. New merch I usually drop every week, I'd say, like something new every week.
That's awesome.
Just to like, because there's people that come in, it's like, even if you come in and bought a shirt today, and then like next week you come in and bought a shirt, like say you bought a shirt every week for the next 2 months. I want you to be able to come in and not be like, oh, well, I have everything in
Yeah.
here.
Or
You
like
know?
having one that someone else doesn't have.
Yeah,
That's
so I do like
always
a lot of
fun,
limited
like-
drops too.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so usually it's like 75 to 100 pieces. They sell in like a week, and then I'm like, okay, well, you know, and then maybe I'll bring it back as like a retro design like 2 or 3 years later or something, or change
Yep.
it up a little bit or revamp
Oh, we
it.
just throw it in the filing cabinet.
Yeah.
Do you have anything special coming up soon?
Yeah, I got a bunch of new stuff dropping tomorrow. And then like for the Rubber City Tattoo convention, I have a pop-up there. My homie Tony puts it together and runs it. It's at the John S. Knight Center. I'm doing a collab with my buddy Mike from Elliott Bead on a pair of Pac-Man style shorts because it's like the Pac-Man themed event.
Yeah.
But it's a dope event. We'll have some. Those will be exclusive up there. Stan Hewitt for October. Yeah, whatever really just comes. I just try to focus on what's on the plate and whatever gets added to it. Figure out a way to make it happen.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got any messages for us before we head out of here?
Yeah, no matter where you're at, whatever you're struggling with, if you keep a positive mindset, surround yourself with good people, your life can change. You can make it out, and you can experience blessings you never knew existed. So, yeah, stop down, 937 Kenmore Boulevard, JustADadFromAkron.com, social media, Just a Dad From Akron.
You got anything for us, Dill, before we head out?
We're wrapped up, man. We appreciate you.
Yeah,
man.
appreciate
we really
y'all
do,
for
real.
sure.
Yeah, huge thanks. All right, we're going to get out of here, y'all. Thanks
right.
again, man.
Peace.
Yup.
Sure, we appreciate it, bro.
That was great.
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
It's scam like we high as hell on some other shit. I'm rapping on West Beats. I make my brother rich. I got a super bad bitch. That's who I'm coming.